ladies, how are you doing today?
How's it
Happy
going?
Sunday.
Yes.
Happy
Hey,
Sunday.
hey, hey.
We in the land of the living. It's Sunday. It's a beautiful day. We have no rain here in the Northeast, which is a good thing because we've been having lots of rain and so on and so
An
on.
earth.
I just want I just want winter and spring to decide who's going to take control.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's all I'm
Absolutely.
waiting for.
Yeah.
Well, after this week, I'll take whatever because I left the West Coast for a reason. I'm not trying to be here with no earthquakes. I'm just going to keep it all out there, right? It's like
Yeah,
leave
that
it
was
where it
crazy.
was, know where it is when I want to go back to it.
Yeah, I just remember, Keisha, you remember this too, when we was near the epicenter in Richmond, and
Hmm.
it was crazy then. Like it's a different feeling. So yes, it's yeah, you too, Celeste. You were there. You were in Richmond too.
I don't
That's my
remember.
You
Celeste.
know what?
Outside of Richmond, in a small town where it shook, but we felt the effects in Richmond.
Greatly,
Okay.
greatly.
Okay. I think, yeah, I remember.
I
Hmm.
was in the
I,
one in
I
'89
must have
in
been at
San
work.
Francisco. And
Mhm.
so, for me, I was looking and I'm like, okay, we're having tremors. Then the dog came running upstairs. I'm like, okay, maybe it's a little more than tremors. And so the whole house was shaking. But after 1989, yeah, my life will never be the same. I'm not looking for them and I don't want to be a part of them anymore.
Yeah, I don't. I'm good with the ground staying solid. So,
Yeah.
all right, ladies.
Let's- let's-
This topic today is I don't know, maybe it's a taboo, but I don't know. Older women dating younger men, younger women dating older men. It's a hot topic in the news today. So we need to discuss this because all of us have these young women as our children. We do. We all have them as our children, and it's pretty funny. We do. Um, so I don't know how you guys would feel if my Joey popped up with a 65-year-old on the step with her. Um,
So,
at first I'll probably be taken aback because I'm not 65 and I'm like, well, what you want with my daughter? But she is an adult, what I mean? She can make her own decisions. But I would have some choice words for him because I would think that he was trying to take advantage of her in some way in her mind, and maybe try and take advantage of him. Maybe she's trying to go get something he got too, like because I ain't gonna give her a pass either. But on the flip side, we got other women that's dating younger men, and we all got the same thing too, because we got younger men, adults in our households too. So I don't want somebody 55 popping up with my Jose. You know what I mean? Either I don't like it either way. I'm just gonna put it out there. I don't like it either way. My son need to grow with somebody his age, make mistakes, do this. He don't need to want to tell him what to do. And he damn sure don't need to be having no baby by then because guess what? Then we gonna be clashing because you think you know more. I have raised a grown person. You know what I mean? But that's just my feeling. I feel no way. It's like I do, but so in the news, you know what I mean? We got Aoki Simmons, we got Drea Michelle, on two opposite ends of the spectrum. I don't know who's being dragged worse, the man or the woman, but that's our conversation today. So how do you guys feel? Because I think it's one-sided. I think that, sometimes people get a pass and it looks glamorous and some people don't. You know what I mean? So who wants the floor?
Mm.
well, I'm dating,
Oh,
so
John. Oh,
and I'm gonna be honest with you. I do not like to date the men my age. I don't,
okay.
but
Me
I don't want
either.
to date my son either.
Me either.
I'm not gonna.
So
I'm not.
you want to date younger or older than you?
I want to date younger,
Mhm.
but
Okay.
I don't want to date my.
Okay.
Okay, so we've always had this thing about in my house. It's like, all right, mom, stay out of our pool of age group because I could be dating the same people they did. I don't want my man looking at my girls and vice versa. So my girl is 30, my son is just hitting his 40s. So I'm gonna stay in the 50 range, 49, 50, 50, like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want them 60.
49.
I'm just gonna tell you right now. So, but because after a while you lose commonality. Like
Right.
there's things that you don't have in common. Maybe that's interesting to some people, but not to me. I like to have conversation. So after we finish talking about the world events and stuff like that, like last night on the phone with my guy was talking about, you remember living single? You remember different world? And we were talking about the old episodes, like, back in the days. I don't think I have that in common with somebody who's 20,
Oh no.
25,
Ooh.
30. That's a big difference
it
that
is.
these girls.
You are in
It-
totally different stages in
Totally
your
di-
life. What do you
totally
what
different.
you talk about with a person who is 20 and 21 that you're dating?
Sex.
No.
That's it.
It has to be. So when I was
What are you
looking it
talking
up,
That's
about
all we're
that?
talking about.
I don't want to talk about that either.
At his age range, if I was dating a young man, he would probably be in his sexual prime, right? Or shortly after that. I probably done past mine. So we're not talking.
so the acceptable age is between 1 and 7 years, or either 5 to 7 years. Is the acceptable age. But you can notice a difference between 1 and 3 years.
So
gap
I can
between
so when we say acceptable, who's saying acceptable? Because my ex-husband was 9 years older than I was.
I think that's
So
fine.
I too was always attracted to older men.
Oh,
And so, but my cutoff was 10 years.
Mhm.
Although I did go out on a few dates with people who were greater than that 10, but I did, after so much time, did see the difference being with the greater than the 10-year age difference. And so it was interesting. And but I couldn't see it sustaining long term. And so, I could hold my own. I could hold a conversation. I could talk about things that were from their time period versus mine. But I just think sustainably, it would not have worked. I don't think in my first marriage that the age difference was a factor in the marriage ending. But 9 years was, a significant difference. But he was not as old as my father in any way whatsoever, and vice versa. So I see what Celeste is saying about being in a certain age group. And then would this person date your child, especially once you get to be older, then it would feel very uncomfortable.
Let me just clarify this part. I think I can have the same conversation no matter what age group I'm in. The problem I'm having is the meaning to those shows is not the same to you as it is to me. You're talking about what you heard. I'm talking about what I felt. I'm talking about running upstairs.
Exactly. Bing, bing, bing. Yep.
That was the difference. And I'm right. You're right. If you're on the same intelligence, same level, you can have conversation.
Right.
But the meaning, when I tell you about the cheese line outside in the back, when they were giving out cheese, I'm not talking about something you read. I'm talking about something I went through.
You experienced. Yeah, no, for sure. And
big difference.
And I think that, again, that's what I saw when I dated. But I knew when I dated that person that I was just dating. This was not someone that I was looking to marry and to spend my life with. Most definitely. And so
he got to be
that. And I think that's one of the things that you're looking at, right? So are you dating to marry, or are you just casually dating? Then I think it's different. When you start having children and then getting married and having to make that decision, then I think that's when things change.
When I bend down and go look for the fan because I'm having a flash, I need him to know what that is.
So does that make a difference with the younger person, the age that the younger person is, 18 versus I'm dating somebody older and I'm 25?
Okay, so you said the person is 18.
If you're 18 years old and you're dating somebody that's in their 30s, the 18-year-old mind versus, what I'm asking is, does it make a difference if you're 18 and dating someone in their 30s, going on 40, or if you're 25 or 26 and dating someone like in their 30s and 40s? because I think the difference, the mindset
Now,
would, I think, mature.
Yeah.
So that would make a difference in the gap in the age.
I think you're hitting a valid point. I think with whatever your maturity level is, I think that usually girls are, and I don't want to get dragged by no men or young men, you know what I mean? But girls seem to mature a little bit before the boys do, and I think that they may be able to take that hustle on. But I think when you think of somebody 18 and the person is 30, I think that's probably intriguing because, like, probably like Chauncey said, my first husband was a lot older than me too. But I think crossroads came with between me and him is because of the age gap. You know what I mean? Because some of the things that I wanted to do, he had already did. You know what I mean? And he was ready to start chillaxing back. So he kind of looked at me like I want to control this, and like, okay, well, I'm only young. I'm only 19, 20. You see what I'm saying? I don't really know what's out there. You know what I mean? So I said you gotta put yourself in that position because you're not gonna ask that person to regress. You know what I mean? And now become you know what I mean, and be back in that era which they've already passed, you know. So I agree with you, Keisha. But the question I want to pose to y'all is if the age difference is a factor, okay, and a factor in the sense that somebody is intentionally looking for, like, I'll say right now, I wouldn't want anybody my age or older. I'm not gonna lie, I don't want them. If I was a single woman. I am a married woman, so that's not a factor. But if I was, you know what I mean, I just wouldn't want. I think that my limit would be somebody probably no I wouldn't go past the 45-year-old level. You know what I mean? That'd be a 10-year-old gap. But they have to be well established. They have to be, you know what I mean, mature, and they have to be on their game and definitely not needy, because I can't help you, buddy, if you're needy. You know what I mean? I mean, if you're looking for your mother, go find your mother. I mean, because I can't be your mama. You know what I mean? But the question I want to pose to you, if you had the chance to go backwards, okay? Erase everything y'all have done thus far. You know what I mean? Would you date somebody older or younger? Don't use your life experiences now. Just see in the mindset you're in now. Would you date somebody older or younger?
Younger, definitely.
It would have to be somebody my age. If it's younger,
You want to go older or younger?
Younger, maybe a few years younger. I would do a few years.
Chauncey?
I don't think I would look for age. I think that I would just look for the person that I wanted to date.
That's
that had things that were in common with me. You know what I mean? Just it's the commonality I think that I would be looking for more so than the age. And again, you know, like you said, if you erase everything that's there, then yes, it's the commonality. Who am I attracted to? Like you, Kemi, I'm a married woman now, but who am I attracted to? What are their interests? Do they align with mine? Now I can rock with you. And then we kind of go from there.
I better take that back, because I might want to get somebody older if I wasn't married, because I'm just tired and I want to go to sleep early and I don't want to be hanging out. I don't want to be doing none of those things. So I definitely can't deal with nobody young.
That's what I'm saying. If you're talking about, if we're talking about the age,
like, no. They would not.
But I think somebody.
But I think if we're looking at commonalities, then you're going to tend to lean to a certain age anyway, right? Because we're talking about commonalities. How many 22-year-olds would have the same experience as me at 54? I just don't. I don't see it. It's not impossible, because there are young people that have lived a lot of. I lived a lot of life at a young age before I even had children. I had done a lot more than people in my age group at that time. And so, you know, so then I feel like me having children in my, mid-20s was okay, because I didn't feel like I was missing out on anything. You know what I'm saying? But some 24-year-olds feel like, oh my gosh, no, I still got a whole lot of living to do before I even settle down or do whatever. But, I enjoyed my life.
I think that, and this is just jokingly, now I want to go to bed early, I don't want to see 10 o'clock. I want to be in a good sleep before 10 o'clock. I just, because my day starts so early. You know what I mean? I need lots of rest and, so on and so on. But, and I don't want to be doing no extracurricular activities. You know what I mean? Walking is good enough for me. I don't want to go, let's pump it out at the gym. Hell no, I don't want to pump it out at the gym. I want to just walk around the block and come back home. That's what I want to do. You know what I mean? So, you choose your battle. But I think that, of course, the commonality that most people have at our age is that, we're mentally sound in the of making decisions. You know what I mean? We're financially sound. And we're thinking about retirement and stuff. Me not think about the stuff they thinking about it. My kids and your kids' age, or the late 20s and the 30s and early 40s. Nobody think about that kind of stuff. Look, we was getting it and going. But if you
Well,
go re-hustle, and do that all over again, good luck to you, because I don't.
I want to do
And
it all.
Huh?
well, and I think you want to do it all.
I want to do it all. I stay up late.
Ooh.
I really don't want, I don't want it. I want you to play by yourself and all that stuff. I don't want you all the time. I want you to have activities. I want to go, like I looked at the other day, I want to go after work on Friday, jump in the car, go to the ATL, be there for all the barbecues and all the stuff on Saturday, maybe stay over in the hotel Sunday morning, grab some breakfast and come back. My body don't drive like that no more. I need somebody young to do all that. I need him to go.
I need a special vitamin that to take to do all that.
I need him to do all the things that, not for me, but maybe with me, and have energy, because this, and I'm not cracking on y'all because I know y'all go to sleep. I admire the fact that you can go to sleep early. But when I tell you I'm called from dude at 7:45 going, I don't think I'm gonna make it, baby. Oh, I'm thinking, oh, they're gonna be to bed at 8. I'm like, what? I'm getting
Well, from the chat, y'all, I could tell that you two are not going to bed early. When I wake up in the morning, it's 5. I'll be like, yo,
Right.
I get up all night long.
Yeah.
Listen, I ain't gonna hold you. It's the menopause, but that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But Kimmy, back to what you were saying about the age group and the examples that we have with Drea Michelle and Keoki Simmons. I think that, and the difference I think between the two is I think with Drea Michelle, the age difference wouldn't be such a big factor if she didn't have a son at a young age who happens to be close to the age of the gentleman that she's with, who now she's going to have a baby by. So when you add in all those factors, then that it gives you, an uneasy, I don't want to say icky, I want to say uneasy feeling. Not that she's having a child with a younger guy, not that, she's older than him and they were dating. The fact that she has a son that's that age. But with Aoki, is kind of like, really, what do you have in common with Grandpa? And so he's 5 and you're 21. Okay. Now we're just really just going. So as her mother,
Oh my God.
So as her mother, I would say to her, my first reaction would be really, really. And then considering she comes from means, right? She ain't broke. She ain't never known broke. So you really need a sugar daddy too? Like you
Well, let me say this, Chauncey. She was on it. She did mention that, they always capture things on the internet, and she recorded herself talking to her dad, and she said, if you don't up my allowance, I am going to get a sugar daddy.
Okay.
That's what she did.
Okay.
That is simple.
So my thing is this though, right? She was talking to her dad about upping her allowance, but her mother is of means as well too. So I even if, and I'm not saying it's right, but if that is if that's the ultimatum, like I could see your mom saying, okay, girl, we ain't even having this. It was bad enough with the age difference between me and your dad that this is just taking it to a whole nother level.
Taught her.
Huh?
Maybe that's what she taught. Maybe that's what she taught her.
Exactly.
I
Maybe
hope not. I hope not.
I know. I
I
hope not,
hope
Yeah.
because I like Kamora Lee Simmons, and I mean,
I do too.
I do. I
No,
like her, and I feel like this. You know, when like Chauncey said, like, yo, when I saw them laying on the beach, I was like, what is that? Like, that is the chauffeur or something like that. Couldn't believe, like, that man is too old for that little girl. I was like, please, what in the
But
world?
she's a little girl. She's a little
oh
girl.
my
But
God.
have you guys heard of the creepiness rule?
The who?
So the creepiness rule states that the younger you should date is half your age plus 7. So whatever age you are, half your age, and then add 7.
Okay,
The
okay. Yeah, that's doable.
oldest you should date is you subtract 7 from your age, and then you double it. So
Wow.
if she's 21 now, she subtracts 7, she would be 14. So you double 14, which be 28. So the highest they say for the creepiness rule should be 28
correct.
since she's 21.
Well, what is
And
her
what we
creepiness rule? Because that is what that man 65.
Yeah, yeah, he's 65.
grandpa.
So it's half his age, what's 35, plus you add 7 to it.
And so then therefore I'm not judging, I'm just stating fact. He's grandpa.
That's grandpa.
Yeah.
That it is what it is.
Mhm.
That's too
Now,
young. I couldn't. That
and
number.
what I always wonder is, and think about it like this, because when you date a person and the age difference, so she's using the creepiness factor, is that what it's called?
That ain't
Creepiness
But-
rule.
Right. So if a person is, so then now this guy, based on her numbers, should be 28. That's 7 years, technically 7 years older than her, right?
Mhm.
But her dating him at 18 and he's 25, still 7 years older. Is it still kind of creepy, cringy? People are starting to talk about it. People are still judging it. Oh, why is that 25-year-old with that 17-year-old or 18-year-old? Or yeah, but they didn't feel that way when, remember years ago when what's his name, Jerry Seinfeld was with that young woman. She came from Means and everything, but he was 31 at the Emmys with this 16-year-old girl.
jail.
Crickets. No one ever said anything, and they
Oh,
were
it's a whole
together
bunch of people out there. This episode can go
A
on
lot.
because that's what I'm saying. It's a whole bunch of people, and they're under investigation as we speak for their behavior. You know what I mean? That you going with
Exactly.
minors and you 40 and 50 years old, that's illegal too. You know what I mean? You got to know, like, what's his name? Woody Allen. Like, yo, it's something
I
just
remember.
nasty and creepy about that.
That's a creepy.
What you want?
It's creepiness factor, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
What they do is they wait until they're 18. Does it make them less creepy or does it make them smart?
So
It's just, but it all depends on who you're asking, right? But because if they're legal,
that Viagra then got out of hand for people. They was taking that stuff and and thinking they're youthful. You need to
I-
stay in your lane.
I don't think you should blame Viagra. I don't think it had nothing to do with
I
Viagra.
do. It's a lot of people ordering it. Mail order from Canada and all kinds of different places to get it from. I'm telling you, it's people living off of that stuff. I'm telling you. My doctor even told me one day, she said, people are having more heart attacks and you think it's just because they've been eating fat back or something crazy. No, they've been taking Viagra and it's
They trying to relive their youth.
and then want
that's
to
the
talk
bottom
about
line.
older women, but that's a whole nother topic because like this we touched on much as we can on this episode, but we do believe in our disclaimer. We just don't.
Mhm.
Exactly. I
Right.
think sometimes people I've heard, especially the guys, say when they marry or were in a relationship with somebody their age, they got treated like the child. It was the mommy syndrome, right? So they go to someone younger that they kind of control a little bit, and they now adore this guy because he's got all of these things he's teaching them, and they're learning, and it's so exciting, and it's a match. Because sometimes your maturity level is not on point like it should be, or maybe you're trying to. I don't think this is right, but maybe some of the men are trying to make up for what they didn't do with their girls, with their children, with their.
Oh, for sure. And I think that goes both ways. I think that we see things, they say, whether we marry people older than us, younger than us, or whatever, right? They say we gravitate towards our parents.
Right. Yeah.
So girls gravitate and we get men that are like our fathers, and then vice versa, right? But more so, I think they say girls gravitate towards men that are like their fathers,
Mhm.
knowingly and unknowingly, right?
Right.
So I think that like you said, Celeste, it's about maturity, it's about what you've experienced. If I'm a 54-year-old woman and I start dating a 40-year-old guy, it's not this crazy age difference, right?
Mm-mm.
But does he have any children? So what happens if I start to date a 40-year-old man and he doesn't have children? You don't want kids? You can still make kids well into your 70s, but you don't want children? I know I don't want to have any
Mhm.
anymore. I know I can't have any anymore. So then you look at that. Do men ask that woman that if she's 25 and they're, 55 and they're holding on and they don't want to let her go and they're doing everything they can to hold on to her, but can you give her what she wants? Can she have a family with you? Do you think about that? Is that part of the conversation? So I think that's important, but I know of older women that have that conversation with younger men, and
Mhm.
a lot of them don't continue the relationship because they want them to have the ability to be with someone, to give them a family and to continue on their family name, so on and so forth. I just don't know if men feel that way about women.
We need to have this episode again before the season ends, and we need to bring a male on here because I would love
Yeah.
to hear what they have to say because I think it's all coming from the female persuasion. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
our motherly, mindset. But I would love to hear what they honestly like. I gotta find somebody who's gonna be honest and forthright when they speaking to us about this. You know what I mean? Because and if y'all know somebody, let's talk about it, soon because I really think that we need to hear both sides of the spectrum because we already know the creepiness that we see. But what are they thinking when they get, they hustling up a young girl like that? You see what I'm saying? It's something to be continued. I'll say that much. So closing remarks, Chauncey.
Um, I mean, you said it already. I do what your heart tells you, do what pleases you, but just think about it. Think about the creepiness factor, or if you're looking at something long term, be completely honest with yourself about what it is that you want.
Mm-hmm. Celeste.
I think you can control who you like, but you can't control who you fall in love with. So if you're in love with somebody and it's an age different, rock on to your cock on. I mean, do it. However, we have to be mindful about, is it going to be difficult? Can I stick through with this person? Because if you're going to be a long-term relationship, family dynamics, the way people view you, everything is going to be in a factor with it. So, just be mindful.
Keisha.
I'm just like the ladies. You have to look for relationships that make you happy. But you also have to be aware and just take in consideration all the factors, as they said, as the ladies have said.
Mhm. And my final thought is agreeing upon everything you said, guys, because I think that one, you're not going to be living on an island. You know what I mean? So it's going to have to be a consideration of the many factors that take place in that relationship. You know what I mean? Your family dynamic. You know what I mean? Your friend dynamic. You don't have to act like you care about that, but you can find yourself isolated. You know what I mean? When you take on relationships that is not wholesome for you. You see what I'm saying? So we are gonna have a part two before the season is out, and you guys think really hard of somebody who is could come on here and give us their honest opinion, a meal. Okay. So joining me tonight is
Your girl Celeste.
And I'm Chauncey.
And I'm Keisha.
and I'm your girl Kimmy. Join us next Wednesday when we drop a new episode. So have a wonderful week on purpose, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Take care.